My name is Maya, I'm 26 years old, and I'm sitting at my sister Lara's wedding today. My family has seen me as the ugly sister my entire life. Mom would constantly say, "Maya, you're not as lucky as Lara. You need to find different talents." Dad never talked to me at all, as if I was invisible. But today, at this wedding, I'm going to reveal a truth none of them know. Because I'm actually. But first, tell me where you're watching from. And if you want to learn how my family came to know me by the end of this story, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. 5 years ago, I ran away from this house. I was overweight, insecure, constantly mocked. Now I'm back, and nobody recognizes me. My sister Lara is marrying the richest family's son today. Everyone's talking about how lucky she is. But when the groom saw me, he froze, because he knows who I am. And now, it's time to tell the truth in front of the entire family. My childhood was never easy. My mother Sarah and father Michael constantly focused on Lara. Lara is 2 years younger, blonde, blue-eyed, with a perfect body. I, on the other hand, I was completely different. "Maya, why can't you be like Lara?" I heard this sentence so many times it now echoes constantly in my head. When I was 12, I weighed 180 pounds. Mom took me to a nutritionist, but when we couldn't get results, she said, "You were born this way. Make peace with your fate." Lara was perfect at everything. Dancing, singing, painting. Mom would register her for every competition. She never registered me. "Maya's talents are in different areas," she'd say, but never specified which talents she meant. High school made things worse. Lara became the popular group leader, always chasing after her. I spent time in the library. I started getting interested in computer programming and graphic design. When I shared this at home, Mom brushed it off, saying, "Maya, you keep yourself busy with something." One day, it was Lara's birthday party. Her friends had come over. I was sitting in the living room watching TV. One of Lara's friends said, laughing, "Is this your sister? You're so different." Lara said embarrassedly, "Yes, Maya is a bit special." That word, special, hurt me so much. I felt like there was something wrong with me. That night, I sat down and made a promise to myself. I would escape this life. But how? In senior year of high school, there was a school computer programming competition. Nobody expected anything from me. Even the teacher said, "Maya, this would be too hard for you. Better if you don't participate." But I participated. I worked day and night. In 3 months, I developed an e-commerce application. When the results were announced, everyone was shocked. I had come first. When I got home, I was so excited. "Mom, Dad, I came first," I said. Mom said, "Well done, Maya," but was indifferent. Dad said nothing at all. Lara mocked Maya finally succeeded at something. That night, I cried a lot. Even my success wasn't value. That's when I really decided. In university exams, I got into computer engineering. In Istanbul, a university far from my family. Mom said, "Maya, why are you going so far? You could study here too." "I want change, Mom," I said. "You don't change, Maya. Accept yourself as you are." This sentence was the last straw. When I moved to Istanbul, I minimized my relationship with my family. I called once a month to give news. They didn't ask much anyway. The first year of university was very hard. I stayed in dorms, had no friends, but I discovered something. Nobody could see my appearance online. I was very successful in programming forums and design communities. In sophomore year, I started taking web design jobs. I was earning money. And with that money, I started sports, went to a nutritionist, focused on myself. In senior year of high school, there was a school computer programming competition. Nobody expected anything from me. Even the teacher said, "Maya, this would be too hard for you. Better if you don't participate." But I participated. I worked day and night. In 3 months, I developed an e-commerce application. When the results were announced, everyone was shocked. I had come first. When I got home, I was so excited. "Mom, Dad, I came first," I said. Mom said, "Well done, Maya," but was indifferent. Dad said nothing at all. Lara mocked Maya finally succeeded at something. That night I cried a lot. Even my success wasn't valued. That's when I really decided. In university exams, I got into computer engineering. In Istanbul, a university far from my family. Mom said, "Maya, why are you going so could study here too?" "I want change, Mom," I said. "You don't change, Maya. Accept yourself as you are." This sentence was the last straw. When I moved to Istanbul, I minimized my relationship with my family. I called once a month to give news. They didn't ask much anyway. The first year of university was very hard. I stayed in dorms, had no friends. But I discovered something. Nobody could see my appearance online. I was very successful in programming forums and design communities. In sophomore year, I started taking web design jobs. I was earning money. And with that money, I started sports, went to a nutritionist, focused on myself. In junior year of university, my life completely changed. I started an internship at a social media agency. On my first day at work, the manager saw me and said, "Are you Maya? You look very young. Can you handle it?" At that moment, I promised myself I would surprise everyone. In 6 months, I became the company's most successful intern. The director hired me full-time. "Maya, you have a special talent," he said. For the first time in my life, someone said I was talented. While working, I also started growing my own social media account. First, anonymously as Tech Girl Maya. I shared technology tips, motivation videos, personal development content. In 6 months, I had 50,000 followers. In 1 year, 200,000. People loved me, followed my ideas. For the first time in my life, I felt valuable. During this process, I lost weight, exercised, became a confident girl. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I was no longer ashamed. But what really changed wasn't my appearance, it was my mindset. In senior year of university, I made a big decision. I would start my own company, called Maya Digital Solutions. Initially, I was alone, but customers started coming through my social media account. First year, I earned $40,000. Second year, $200,000. Third year, $400,000. My company grew, had employees, had an office. During this process, I never contacted my family. They called once a year. How are you, Maya? I'm fine, Mom. How's work? Good, Mom. That was it. They never asked what was happening in my life. I followed Lara's life on Instagram. Beautiful boyfriends, luxury vacations, expensive clothes. Mom and Dad bought her everything. They seemed to have forgotten me. Last year, Mom called. I hadn't heard her speak this excitedly in a long time. Maya, I have wonderful news. Lara is getting married. To whom? Mom, to Daniel Carter. You know, the son of Carter Holdings, very wealthy family. Lara is so lucky. Carter Holdings. I knew this name because 6 months ago, I had done a big project with them. Daniel Carter had personally met with me, with Tech Girl Maya, but he didn't know who Maya was. Maya, you'll come to the wedding, right? We haven't seen each other for 5 years. Lara wants it too. I laughed inside. Did Lara really want me there? I'll come, Mom. I'm so happy. But Maya, if I may ask, don't dress too flashy at the wedding. It's Lara's day. She needs to shine. Again, the same thing. Again, Lara's shadow. Don't worry, Mom. I won't draw anyone's attention. I decided to return home for the wedding, but I planned very well what kind of entrance I would make. First, I completely redyed my hair. I used to have straight black hair. Now I got ombre blonde. After losing weight, my face had changed so much, nobody would recognize me. I chose a simple dress for the wedding, black unshowy, but quality. Inside me was great confidence. Alex wanted to come with me, but I said no. This is my personal battle. I want to handle it alone. On the wedding morning, I called my family. Mom, let's meet at the wedding venue. I might be late. I didn't want to go home because the memories of old Maya were there. New Maya needed to meet them. When I arrived at the wedding venue, it was a very elegant organization, just like Lara had shared on Instagram. White flowers, crystal chandeliers, live music. At the entrance, I saw my parents. After 5 years, Mom had aged a bit. Dad's hair had turned gray. When they saw me, they hesitated momentarily. Are you Maya? Mom said. Yes, Mom. I'm Maya. You've changed so much. People change, Mom. They hugged me, but it was a distant hug, like they were hugging a stranger. Lara was really beautiful. The wedding dress suited her very well, but the expression on her face was the same as before, self-absorbed, proud. When she saw me, she was surprised. Maya, is that you? You look so different. Hello, Lara. You look very beautiful. Thank you. You've also lost weight. She didn't want to continue this conversation. She immediately turned to other guests. After the ceremony was the cocktail section. I was sitting in the corner, watching people. Everyone had gathered around Lara, talking about how lucky she was. Daniel was chatting with guests. Handsome, elegant, confident man, but something caught my attention. He was coming toward me. Excuse me, are you Maya? Yes. Lara's sister. Yes. There was a strange expression on his face, like he recognized me. You seem very familiar. Have we met before? My heart raced. I don't think so, but Daniel insisted. No, I know you. Your voice is very familiar. That moment came. My moment of triumph. Maybe you know me from Tech Girl Maya, I said calmly. Daniel's face froze. His mouth fell open. Are you Tech Girl Maya? Yes. This is impossible. You have 2 million followers. We did a project. Yes, Daniel, me. Maya Digital Solutions owner. Tech Girl Maya. The person you got consultancy from 6 months ago. Daniel was shocked. He couldn't speak without raising his voice. But how? Your family never mentioned. Because they don't know. At that moment, Lara came to us. What are you talking about? Daniel was still in shock, looking at me. Lara, I said, I think I need to introduce myself to your husband. I'm Maya, your sister, and also Tech Girl Maya, 2.3 million follower social media phenomenon, founder and CEO of Maya Digital Solutions, the company that had $6 million revenue last year, and the consultant Daniel worked with 6 months ago. Lara's face went pale. What are you saying? Ask Daniel. He knows me. Daniel was still speechless, just nodding his head. Lara angrily said, This is impossible. You're just Maya. Yes, I'm just Maya, and that's enough. At that moment, my parents came to us too. They sensed tension between us. What's happening? Mom said. Mom, I said loudly, now loud enough for people around to hear. I want to introduce myself to you. I'm Maya, The Maya who left this house 5 years ago, whom you called the ugly sister. Now I'm tech girl, Maya with 2.3 million followers, owner of my own company, a millionaire businesswoman, and a consultant Daniel knows very well. The hall fell silent. Everyone was watching us. Mom said, Maya, what are you saying? I'm telling the truth, Mom. The truth you never asked about, never wondered about. Dad spoke for the first time. Are you really successful? Yes, Dad, I'm really successful. And I did this alone, without your support, without your belief. Lara was still in shock. This can't be true. You're just what, Lara? Just the ugly sister? Just unsuccessful Maya? At that moment, Alex entered the hall, very handsome, very elegantly dressed. He came to me and held my hand. This is also my fiancé, Alex. We're getting married very soon. Mom was blinking, trying to understand the truth. Maya, she said, are you really? Yes, Mom. I'm really successful, really happy, really valuable. Someone the world noticed, but you didn't. The hall had heard everything now. People were whispering, taking out phones to search for tech girl, Maya. This is it, I said. This is my story. Not the ugly Maya who left here 5 years ago. The strong Maya who returned here today. Lara started crying. Daniel was trying to calm her down. I didn't know, Mom said. You didn't know because you never asked. For 5 years, you never wondered how I was doing. We're sorry, Maya, Dad said. We were wrong. Yes, I said. You were wrong, but now it's too late. Alex and I left the hall, leaving shocked looks behind us. In the car, Alex said, I'm so proud of you. I'm free now, I said, finally free. Today, 6 months after that wedding, Mom still calls, occasionally, trying to apologize. Maya, we never really knew you, she says. Yes, Mom, I say, you never knew me, but now you do. Lara sent a message on social media. Maya, I'm sorry. I'm very proud of you, she wrote. I didn't reply because some wounds take time to heal. My company now has 50 employees. My techgirl_Maya account has 3 million followers. Alex and I got married. We're very happy. And, most importantly, I no longer need anyone's approval because I'm Maya. That's enough. If you're also being seen as worthless by your family, being humiliated, remember, your real value isn't the value in others' eyes. It's your own potential. And maybe one day, you'll also make a surprise at your own wedding that nobody expects. Hello, it's Maya again. 5 years ago, I told you about the big revelation I had in my sister Lara's wedding. That day, when I revealed my tech girl Maya identity, my family was shocked. So what happened next? Today I'll tell you what happened after that day, because the real story actually started after that wedding. 5 years have passed, and now my life is completely different. But something unexpected happened. Lara's marriage failed, she lost her job, and now she's asking for my help. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part is what my mother said to me yesterday. Maya, Lara is depressed. You're her only hope. If you want to see someone who once humiliated you now asking for help, hit that like button and listen to the rest of this story. The first months after that wedding were very difficult. Mom called every day, crying, Maya, you tore our family apart, she'd say. Dad never called. I later learned he had a heart attack, but they didn't tell me. I couldn't get any news from Lara. She had deleted her social media accounts. She and Daniel had returned early from their honeymoon. I later learned from neighbors that Daniel's family never accepted Lara. If that woman's sister talks to family like that, she might be the same way, they had said. I focused on my work. TechGrowMaya account exploded. I had 5 million followers overnight. Everyone was talking about the woman who revealed her identity at the wedding. Netflix offered me a documentary deal. I received book writing offers, but there was a strange emptiness inside me. I had gotten my revenge, but I wasn't happy. Alex noticed this. Maya, he said one evening, are you really happy? Of course I'm happy, I said. Everything in my life is going well, but you cry in your sleep at night. He was right. I cried at night because I actually wanted to reconcile with my family, but my pride wouldn't let me. We didn't communicate for the first year. In the second year, my mother was hospitalized. My cousin called me. Maya, your mother is very bad. She's been diagnosed with depression and anxiety disorder. She constantly mumbles your name. She doesn't want me, I said. Maya, she always wanted you. She just doesn't know how to communicate. Her pride is too big. I went to the hospital. Mom had lost 20 pounds. When she saw me, she started crying. Maya, I was a terrible mother, she said. Mom, no, listen to me. For 25 years, I ignored you. Even when you were successful, I didn't notice. I missed you so much. That day, we talked for a long time. Mom told me things from our childhood that I never knew. When you were 5, you came home one day and said, Mom, I made a game on the computer. I said, go away, it's not important. But you had actually started learning programming on your own. I didn't notice. When you were 12, the school principal called. He said, Maya can participate in Math Olympics. I refused. I said I wanted to focus on Lara's dance lessons. When you were 16, you ranked in the top 100 in university prep exams. We didn't even celebrate. Lara had a beauty contest that week. Each thing she told me felt like a nail being hammered into my heart. Mom, Why are you telling me this now? Because at that wedding, when you revealed your identity, I realized how strong you were and what a terrible mother I was. After reconciling with Mom, it was Dad's turn, but Dad was much harder. One day, I called him. Dad, can we meet? Is this Maya? He said in surprise. Of course. We met. He had aged a lot too. His hair had turned white. His hands were shaking. Dad, you had a heart attack. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't deserve it, he said. For 25 years, I never listened to you. I had no right to tell you about my illness and seek pity. Dad, Maya, I was a terrible father. When you were little, you'd come home every evening, wanting to tell me what you learned that day. I'd continue reading the newspaper. I'd say, later, Maya, but that later never came. I loved you, Dad. I still do. I love you too, my daughter, but I couldn't show my love. Lara was always easier for me to handle. You were so smart. I couldn't understand that. I was afraid of you. Why were you afraid? Because you were smarter than me. Even at 10 years old, you spoke more logically than me. It was an ego issue. That day, Dad and I talked for a long time. I understood that he was actually very regretful too. After reconciling with Mom and Dad, I got news from Lara, but it wasn't good news. My cousin called. Maya, we hospitalized Lara. She attempted suicide. I ran to the hospital. Lara was lying in bed, very thin. When she saw me, her eyes filled with tears. Maya, she whispered, will you forgive me? Lara, what happened to you? Everything's over, Maya. Daniel left me. I lost my job. I lost my house. My friends left me. I have nothing left. How did this happen? After the wedding, Daniel's family never accepted me. They said, if your sister talks to family like that, you must be the same kind of person. Daniel gradually became cold toward me too. What about your job? I was constantly sharing my luxury life on Instagram, but actually we were very much in debt. Credit cards were maxed out. When Daniel's money ran out, I went bankrupt too. They fired me from work, took back the apartment. What about your friends? They were never really my friends. They were with you as long as you had money. When the money ran out, everyone disappeared. Lara was crying. For the first time, I saw my sister this fragile. Maya, were you never lonely? Did you never suffer? I did suffer. Lara, a lot. But I turned my pain into power. You turned your pain into anger. After Lara got out of the hospital, she moved back to our parents' house, but her condition was very bad. She was taking depression medication, never leaving the house. Mom called one day. Maya, Lara is very bad. She can't find any job. Everywhere she sends her resume, she's labeled as the sister of the girl who caused a scandal at the wedding. Mom, this isn't my fault. I know, my daughter. But can you help? She's your sister. I thought a lot. On one hand, Lara had tormented me for years. On the other hand, she was my sister. I discussed this with Alex. What do you want to do? He said, I don't know. I'm hurt, but I also feel sorry for her. Maya, you're a very kind-hearted person, but you also need to protect yourself. What if I give her a chance? Your decision, but I have one condition. What is it? When you first help her, you'll draw your boundaries clearly. If she returns to her old ways, you'll cut it off immediately. He was right. I would give Lara a chance, but I would have conditions. I called Lara. I want to talk to you. Maya? She said in surprise. Is it really you? Yes, let's meet. We met. Lara had changed a lot. No makeup, simple clothes. She looked much more modest. Maya, I'm very sorry, she said. I apologize for what I did to you. Lara, sorry isn't enough, but I want to help you. Really? Her eyes lit up. But I have conditions. What conditions? First, you'll admit everything you did to me in the past. You won't deny it. I accept. Second, you'll start working at my company, but from the lowest position. You won't have any privileges. I accept. Third, you won't share anything about me on social media. This is just work. I accept. Fourth, if you return to your old ways, you'll be fired that day. Maya, I've changed. I really have changed. We'll see. Lara started work. The first days were very difficult for her. She was working in customer service. Sometimes she heard insults on the phone, but she endured it. After 3 months, her manager called me. Maya, Lara is working very well. Customers are very satisfied with her. We want to promote her. Are you sure? Yes, she really has changed. After 6 months, Lara came to my office. Maya, thank you for what? For giving me a second chance. I found myself in this job for the first time. I feel really useful. Good. And Maya, one more thing. I now understand how strong you are. You learned to stand on your own feet without depending on anyone. I was always dependent on others. Now you understand. Maya, I love you as my sister, but I also have great respect for you as a businesswoman. This was the first time I heard this from her. Today, Lara still works at my company in a mid-level position. She has a modest life, but she's happy. And for the first time, we have a real sisterly relationship. Mom and Dad have changed too. Now they're proud of my achievements. It's late but better than never. And me, I'm truly happy now because I learned something more beautiful than getting revenge: forgiveness. If you're also having problems with your family, remember, sometimes people can change. But first, you need to learn to protect yourself. If you liked the continuation of this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Share your own experiences in the comments. See you in the next video.